Travis Townsend is a double-degreed and twice a Wolverine from the University of Michigan with a bachelor's and law degree. He has practiced at some of Atlanta's most prestigious firms before starting his own prestigious firm where he serves as managing partner. Trinity Townsend is an educator turned barrister who now serves as staff attorney on the Fulton County State Court on the judicial staff to the Honorable Eric Richardson.
Quick business lesson. All right, anybody here, we're gonna run a hotel. Can I get some information or some thoughts on how do you run a hotel? What is a hotel? How do they make money?
You gotta sell rooms.
You gotta sell rooms, all right, all right. So rooms are the major asset of a hotel. We all agree, everybody? Yes? And say you got a hotel with 100 rooms, right? So what do you wanna do in order to maximize your profits? Fill the rooms. You want 50 rooms filled? You want all of them, right? We want all of them filled, okay. Prisons as a business. What's the key asset of a prison? Somebody said inmate, but what do they have? Much like hotels. Sales rooms. You guys know about private prisons? Private prisons growing rapidly. Since 1990, between 1990 and 2010, the number of private prisons in the United States grew 1,600, not 1,600, 1,600%. If we eliminated crime, what would happen to those prisons? They would close down. What would happen to the money behind those? Lose money. So how much do you think billionaires are willing to lose money on an investment like a prison?
You can be charged with murder for doing something that you know would likely lead to somebody's death, but you did it anyway. And a person dies because of what you did. An example of this is when a fake gangster pulls out a pistol inside a house party, shooting it up in the air. And the bullet from the gun ricochets off the ceiling and straight into the heart of one of his homies, killing him in the process.
That's an example of what's called reckless murder, right? Recklessness and indifference to the consequences of your actions can lead to a murder charge.
You can be charged with murder if you intentionally brutalize somebody so badly that the person ends up dying because of the beatdown. For instance, if a person were to start a fight with somebody and then proceed to beat that person's brains in, he could be on the hook for murder.
This is one of the many reasons why you don't settle differences with altercations.
You can be charged with murder if somebody is killed while you're in the process of committing a dangerous felony. For instance, if a person is robbing a bank and somebody who was waiting in line tries to escape but fell on a wet spot on the floor and then died from bumping and busting his head on the floor, the robber could end up with a felony murder charge.
I know a lot of you probably think, wait a minute, if somebody slipped while a robbery was going on, well, I didn't actually kill him. If the person died while you were in the commission of doing a felony, that's murder. And this is a very important point here. Agreeing with others to commit a crime is a crime, and it's called conspiracy. And we stress conspiracy because this is how they get our youth.
Difference between negative attention and positive attention. What's some ways you can get positive attention? Go to school.
Go to school.
Community service. Pull your pants up. It's crazy that you would get positive attention just for having your pants up. Let's talk about negative attention. What ways can you draw negative attention to yourself? All right, so we're gonna start with the pants. Pants down. Pants down, no belt.
No belt, and then want to commit a crime and try to run away.
Yeah, I call it the slow poke thug. Don't bring attention.
Okay, the more invisible you are to the police, the better, right? Number two, always be respectful towards the police. The one thing that you can control is yourself. There's certain things you should always do to protect your rights when the cops come knocking.
If the cops don't have a search warrant, don't give them permission to enter your house.
Police, open up. Zebediah Gibson, can we come in?
Do you have a warrant?
Look, we just want to come in and ask you a few questions.
No, I do not consent to you entering my house unless you have a valid warrant.
We'll be back with the warrant.
Well, until you come back with one, I don't consent to you entering my house or to any kind of search.
The first thing you need to understand is your home is your castle. You got to have some paper to come into somebody's house, law enforcement or not, unless it's exigent circumstances. But for the most part, there has to be a warrant. Now, just having a warrant, that ain't even enough.
Always read any search warrants that the cops come to your house with.
Police, open up. Zebediah Gibson, we have a search warrant for this house.
Can I see the warrant? This isn't my address. This warrant says 1230 Mockingbird Lane. This house is 1280 Mockingbird Lane. I don't consent to you searching my house.
It's a typo. You might as well let us in because you know we're coming back with a warrant that has the correct address.
Nope. Until you get a valid warrant for this house, I don't consent to any search.
I thought the presentation was awesome. They were able to articulate a major concern across the country for our youth and understanding the law and how to properly interact with law enforcement.
Tonight was a great event. I thought it was very useful. I thought it would make our community engage in what we can do to be more proactive about our rights and, you know, just to make our interactions with the police department better.
I thought it was great. They gave out basic skills that, you know, everybody needs in their day-to-day lives. A lot of times situations will escalate with police because people will get emotional, you know, as opposed to knowing your rights.
Oh, the presentation was absolutely awesome. While we have done this many times in the past with our boys in the Rites of Passage program, today we got the opportunity to touch many, many more youth in our community. If we saved one life, then it's all worth it.
We can talk about God as a God of justice, but what we need are practical steps in terms of what do you do in terms of dealing with the legal system. And one of the things that this program did was provide those practical steps. And the brothers who put forth this program did an excellent job in walking us through that.